who helped you get where you are? Well, I think that's an interesting question, because I think for every writer, I bet for each of the five of us who are speaking here today, each one of us could have a list of about 25 people. If it takes a village to raise a child, it takes a community to support a writer. It's kind of a lonely life. You go for years without knowing whether what you're doing will actually end up in a book. You hope that your work will give the kind of literary pleasure that you get from books. I mean, we're all here today because we do this very private thing. We read, and we do that by ourselves. But yet, here we are because we all love that. And it's that odd, kind of beautiful community built out of paradox that we rely on. We rely on people who buy our books, people who read our books. The stray letter from somebody who's read one of my books and for whom it's meant something makes my week. It's really a big thing. So, and from the person, that story about going to Berkeley, I eventually went to the director of financial aid, who had a hard time giving me any money because you're supposed to apply for financial aid. And I hadn't applied, and my mother was supposed to send her Social Security, and being, shaky, and she was suspicious of things like that, and didn't and wouldn't. But I had applied for a writing scholarship, and this man in his 50s at the time sort of opened this folder and read my stories and my poems that I'd submitted for this scholarship. And I can tell you now, they were bad. I mean, they were young girl watching the moon and not particularly fantastic in any realm, but he rubber stamped my application for 4 years, and there I was in college. So he was one of the first people who helped, and there have been people all the way along the line up into and including all of you. So that's what I have to say to Savannah at William Wirt. Whether or not she should become a writer, I don't know. I think what people would say is, if you can do what one of my teachers said is, if you can do anything else, do it. Not because it's so terrible, but because if you're going to be a writer, you really can't do anything else.